above all power.
Now there is in Jerusalem, near the sheep gate, a pool called Bethesda, surrounded by 5 covered colonnades. Now the sheep gate today is called St. Stephen's Gate, because it's near the place where Stephen was stoned to death. And when we stayed in Jerusalem on and off for 6 months, we used to love going to the pool of Bethesda, not because of the pool itself, which is a real disappointment. After centuries of destruction and rebuilding, the pool now lies 15 meters below the level of the current city, and it's completely stagnant. But we love going there because of the beautiful St. Anne's Church that stands there, built out of white marble with its world-famous acoustics. But here a great number of disabled people used to lie, the blind, the lame, and the paralyzed. Isn't it interesting how Jesus gravitated to disabled people, whether in mind or body? And on this day, he chooses just one out of that whole crowd. One man was there who had been an invalid for 38 years. Notice that word invalid. It's the same spelling as invalid. Sometimes people who've been sick for so long start to feel invalid, not quite human, not worth anything. And he goes to this man with a question, a strange question, almost absurd. He says, "Do you want to be well?" Who wouldn't want to be well? Well, the answer is quite a lot of people, because sometimes we come to rely on our disability and other people look after us. And perhaps for this man it would be very daunting after 38 years to wonder how he will earn a living. But with wellness comes responsibility, and some people are afraid of that. And I see signs in this man that he's disabled in more than just his body. The very fact that Jesus asks this question suggests he might actually not want to be well. And then he said, "I have no friends to help me into the water." I find it incredible to think that for 38 years no one was unselfish enough to sit with him for a few days and help him. That must have damaged him. And then when Jesus heals him, he miraculously gets up and walks, but he doesn't just walk, he walks away. He doesn't even say thank you. He doesn't even find out Jesus' name. And then when the Pharisees say, "Who healed you on the Sabbath?" he goes to find out who Jesus was and goes and tells the Pharisees. He supplies Jesus' enemies with ammunition to use against him. And then, of course, Jesus comes to him and says, "Sin no more, or something worse will happen to you." What sin has he been doing lying there, unable to move? We once had a woman in our church who in a car accident broke her neck and became a complete quadriplegic, and I made a rather facile comment to her. I said, "Well, at least you can't sin much lying here." And she said to me, "Pastor, you would be amazed how much you can sin in your head." And I think that that was what this man had been doing, the sins of selfishness and self-pity. I once met a nun at a retreat center in a wheelchair, terribly disabled by muscular dystrophy. And yet she kind of shone. And I asked her what was her secret, and she says, "I shun self-pity like the plague it is." And so this man, perhaps not the nicest man you ever met, and yet Jesus heals him too.